Hi guys, it's Tim from Anila Photo Academy, and yeah, I'm in Malaysia at the moment, and I've been diving for the past couple of weeks due to the MCO. Can't travel a lot, but I'm doing a lot of diving here in Malaysia. I recently got a chance to actually try something really fantastic that I think I want to tell you about. Now, I'm talking about the new AOI housing, and this is built for the EPL9 and EPL10 Olympus cameras. Now let me tell you a little bit first about this camera. Now this is a mirrorless camera, so when we're looking at cameras, you've got the point and shoots like the TG, where you don't have a manual mode and you can't change lenses. Then you move up to the compact cameras. People like to move to the compact cameras because now they're small and they allow you to actually shoot on manual mode. Those compact cameras do not allow you to change lenses, so if you want to shoot macro, you need to put diopters onto the housing, the wet lenses for macro, or you can use a wet dome lens to actually attach. The mirrorless systems, however, have bodies like a compact camera. They're really small in size. However, they allow you to actually change lenses. So this is a kit lens, which is very similar to that of a compact camera like the G7X Mark III, the RX100, or Panasonic, or other brands. Those compact cameras come with kit lenses, which give you a range of like 28 to something. So you can shoot it when you are doing wide angle, or you can zoom it in when you're doing macro. These ones allow you to do the same. These come together with the camera. However, on a mirrorless system, the advantage you have is if you want to go and shoot macro, you can actually exchange this and put on a macro lens. So then you get to shoot with a macro lens and you get to do macro from further away, means you get the real magnification. Or if you want to shoot with a fisheye lens, then you can actually switch and use a fisheye lens with your camera mirrorless setup. So this model that I have right now is the EPL9, and I think it's a good camera to move on to if you are planning to move away from a TG series camera like a point and shoot, because it allows you the controls of manual. It works like a DSLR. It works like a bigger system in terms of the ability to change lenses to shoot whatever you want to shoot. So that's a little introduction to the camera system. We have got a small mirrorless system here that comes to you with a kit lens. This is a 1442. That means you are able to shoot wide angle, and if you want to zoom, you can zoom it in and shoot some macro stuff with the use of a diopter. Now, I'm telling you about this because now you have the option to actually move onto a mirrorless system, and with the AOI housing available, it has become very inexpensive, not so expensive, yeah. So let me tell you about the housing. I got to try this recently and I like it a lot. AOI make housings for Olympus. So if you look at the TG housing or you look at the EM5, EM1 housings, they are built by AOI, and Olympus has decided to stop making housings for at least the EPL series. So AOI said, let's do it, and now let's do it our way. We get to choose how we want to make our camera housing, and we want to make a good one. So they've come up with this one, and I got to test it recently, and I'm really convinced it's as good as it gets for a small system. Very compact in size, almost like the size of a compact camera housing, and it does everything it's supposed to do. So let me explain this to you first. The housing, very lightweight, very compact. They provide you with the zoom adapter. So it's actually got the zoom gear, which allows you to zoom in and zoom out when in the housing. It comes together with that. Sits into the housing very well. This is how it sits. And then you also have a flash trigger system. So the difference with this one is, when you use the normal camera housings, you need to pop up the flash inside, and the flash needs to flash inside so that it can trigger your strobes. Now, AOI has decided to come up with a slightly different system. They've got a hot shoe system. So they give you something like this, which you can fix onto the hot shoe, and then fix it to the housing. So by doing this, your flash doesn't have to flash anymore. What it actually does is it triggers an LED light which is available inside the strobe connection ports. So you've got these two ports here, and then this actually connects to your strobe. LED. So your flash inside doesn't have to flash, and that means your battery can last longer as well. You know, it's not taking battery from the camera because the flash is flashing a lot. Now, it also comes with a built-in vacuum system, which I think is really quite amazing. Inside here, where you have your flash triggers, there's a switch that you turn on. When you turn it on, you see the blinking light. So that starts to blink to tell you that, alright, it's activated. It blinks in blue at first, and then you close it, open up the valve. They provide you with the vacuum with the system, so you put in the vacuum and you start to pump. So now it's blinking blue inside, I can tell you that. You pump it until it turns a solid yellow. You can see there's a light inside that solid yellow. So it starts off with a blue, and then you pump it until it gets yellow and solid, and then it's analyzing. You got to leave it here and give it a couple of minutes. It's going to see whether or not the housing loses pressure. If the housing loses pressure, it turns and starts flashing in red. If after a few minutes the pressure is maintained, it turns from a solid yellow to green, and that means you're done. You're ready to use it. Yeah. So it comes already together with the vacuum system, the pump, the built-in vacuum system, and you close it. You have the peace of mind of actually, when diving, knowing that it's green. So it's green, there's no pressure being lost, the housing integrity is very, very good, nothing can leak. If it starts to lose pressure, then it will start to tell you that pressure is being lost. So you normally will go up, do your safety stop and end the dive so that it doesn't start to leak. Whereas for leak sensor systems, it tells you that there is water inside and it starts beeping. By this time, there is already water inside. So this one tells you when it's losing pressure and it's not secure. Okay, so now that we know that it's green, let me show you the flashing color of the light inside. A little bit of glare. Yeah, you see the green inside. Yeah, you see the flashing light inside. So as long as it's green, that means it's not losing pressure. The integrity is very good. Now this camera is ready to use. It's got the manual, it's got the speed priority, aperture priority, it's got program mode, and it's got all the other modes that the camera can use. And if you want to use this one to shoot wide angle, then of course you are able to go with your regular wide angle converters underwater. It screws straight onto the housing. It's got a 67 mm mount, which is quite the norm. You can shoot it with a wide angle port, and this works well. Or the reason why I personally really like this housing is because of the fact that it comes with the accessories you need to actually use the 60 mm Zuiko lens, which is one of the best macro lenses available today for mirrorless systems, or the 8 mm Zuiko lens. It's got all the adapters that you need. So I'd like to show you what you can actually do with the lenses as well. Let me show you how this is done. You have your standard port with the housing. You've got the unlock clip here. You press it down, and then you're able to turn the original port out. Take it off, and that is your original port. Now what you need to do is you need to attach it to the extension. So what it does is it goes inside, turn it around until it drops in, and then lock it. So now you have an extended port. And I was talking about using the 60 mm Zuiko lens. So if I want to do that, I remove the kit lens, I put on the 60 mm Zuiko lens, put it back inside. Now let me put this one first. This one here goes in, and then it clicks. You will hear this pop back up, and it's clicked, and now you have extension port. So what you do now is you can use this with the 60 mm Zuiko lens without buying yourself an additional port just for macro. You only need to buy an extension, and that means you get to use your original port at the same time. 60 mm Zuiko inside works perfectly. Now on the other hand, if you actually wanted to shoot wide angle and you have the Zuiko 8mm, which is one of the more popular wide-angle fisheye lenses around, then you also get the option of getting the dome and the extension port to make that work. So now let's say, Tim, we are going diving and we're going to do wide angle today. Good, no problem. Remove the port, pull it out, that's done. I have the dome lens here. This is also from AOI, it's all part of the system. You have an extension port that actually needs to extend the dome port a little further. So the dome lens is a really nice acrylic dome lens. That means if there are scratches, you get to polish them off with the acrylic. If you're using a glass dome, it's heavier, but it's harder to scratch. So harder to scratch, but hard to remove scratches versus easier to scratch, but ability to remove the lenses easier. I kind of think the acrylic one is a nice way to go. If any problem happens, I am able to fix it. This goes in here, turn it until it clicks, and then lock it. That's locked. Again, I'm going to remove the camera, change it to the 8mm lens from Zuiko. I'm getting a bit of a mess in front of me now, yeah. 8mm lens from Zuiko. This is a fantastic lens. It's 1.8, f1.8. Put on the dome, turn it until I find the right position, and then click. (8mm Zuiko lens inside acrylic dome with this same housing. I think this is just fantastic because now with a very simple camera housing system that's lightweight with a built-in flash trigger to save battery for the camera, the built-in vacuum system that gives you the assurance that the camera is secure and not leaking. I think it's simple and fantastic. Highly recommended. Okay, so now that we've got this ready and it's all working together, let's now show you how the flash connects to the strobe. It doesn't have your flash inside popped up and firing the flash, so it saves battery by actually having it connected to the hot shoe. So only a small LED light blinks and then it triggers the flash. First of all, you need to remember that inside the switch that activates your vacuum sensor is the same switch that actually powers up the LED. So that switch has to be turned on. Make sure that it's on. If that switch is off, then the LED light is not going to be active. Yeah. So turn this on now. Connect it to the housing and attach the strobe, and now this will fire. Yeah. So it works very well together. It doesn't have the flash. It has got a LED flash trigger. So all in all, for a simple system like this, I think it really does the job.